just remind me, you have 3 right? So I will introduce you as the diversity inclusion trustee for the first one, which is after, right, Adoni. Diversity inclusion.
Check, check. We will be starting in approximately 1 minute, according to the TV.
Or the sunset. One or the other. We can make it like New Year's. We can do like a countdown. 10, 9. If the person next to you is okay with it, like put your arm around them. It's Shabbat. Hold them close. Let's count our precious people. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. So good to see you here tonight to celebrate our equality and social justice Shabbat, where so many important ideas and people and values come together in order for us to express our full Jewish commitment to these values. So let's just take a quick moment to greet someone maybe that you don't recognize and say good Sabbath to them, Shabbat Shalom to them. That's right. One of the ideals that we're committed to in the Reform movement is that of inclusion. And a concept of radical welcoming. So not just a smile, but like really being able to look in someone's eyes and wonder, who are you and how can I help you feel comfortable and safe and accepted and welcome? So I thought I'd start tonight with a statement from the Reform Jewish movement. And I really believe it is statements like these that are unanimous declarations that really help the movement be a leader in terms of all that it means to embrace community in the most grand sense. So there's many different statements in the movement about different people, about the ideas of diversity, about the ideas of equity and inclusion. And this specific statement, Lisa Sage, who is our our trustee of diversity and inclusion, who's going to be speaking tonight, chose it because November has particular significance in the transgender community. And so we thought that hearing how the movement roots its values in the Jewish tradition really matters. So I'm going to read this to you. Our support for transgender inclusion is deeply rooted in our Jewish texts and tradition. The Torah teaches that all people are created in the divine image, B'Tselem Elohim, and all are worthy of dignity and respect. The Mishnah builds on this core teaching, and there's a story that's told. When humans stamp coins, when we make coins, we use one seal, and it's an identical face on each and every coin. But when the Holy One, stamps each one of our beautiful faces, each one is unique. No two faces are exactly identical. All of us are created uniquely in that B'Tselem Elohim, so that God's image itself is infinite and has endless possibilities of what we can look like, who we can be like, what we sound like, how we dress, what our customs are. And that comes from such an ancient rabbinic teaching. The Jewish tradition describes God as having many gendered attributes, but no body. And if the Holy One has many gendered attributes, so too can humans have a multiplicity of gender identities. Indeed, Judaism has recognized a diverse spectrum of sex and gender identities for centuries. There are hundreds of references to at least 6 different sex and gender identities across Jewish legal codes and rabbinic commentary. So I want to share just very briefly a prayer that was written by a rabbinic school classmate of mine. So I started studying to be a rabbi in the year 2000, and I was ordained in 2006. And during that time, one of my classmates went through a full gender transition, and another student came in who was the first transgender rabbinic student accepted in the Reform movement. And they wrote this prayer called the Twilight People Prayer, Rabbi Reuben Zellman. And so if you're familiar with trans Jewish community at all, Rabbi Zellman is a leader within that, as is my other classmate. So I thought that as the sun is setting and as we're in this in-between time of day and night of the rest of the week in Shabbat, I would share this Twilight People Prayer. As the sun sinks and the colors of the day turn, we offer a blessing for the twilight. For twilight is neither day nor night, but in between. We are all twilight people. We can never be fully labeled or defined. We are many identities and loves, many genders, and none. We are in between roles at the intersection of histories, or between place and place. We are crisscrossed paths of memory and destination, streaks of light swirled together. We are neither day nor night. We are both, neither, and all. May the sacred in-between of this evening suspend our certainties, soften our judgments, and widen our vision. May this in-between light illuminate our way to the God who transcends all categories and definitions. May the in-between people who have come to pray be lifted up into this twilight. We cannot always define. We can always say a blessing. Blessed are you, God of all, who brings on the twilight. So let's continue to welcome this beauty, welcome this bride, welcome this Sabbath with our traditional psalms. Shiru Ladonai is on page 131. Please join with us.
שירו לאדוני, שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני, כל הארץ. שירו לאדוני, ברכו שמו, בסרו מיום ליום, ישועתו, ספרו בגויים, כבודו, לכל העמים. נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני, ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא, על כל אלוהים, די, כי כל אלוהי עמים אלילים, ואדוני שמיים עשה, עוד והדר לפניו, עוד ותפארת במקדשו. יללי, יללי, ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ, ירם הים ומלוא יעלוז שדי וכל אשר בו. די, אז ורננו כל הצער לפני אדוני, כי בא לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל בצדק, ועמים באמונתו. יללי,
Everybody, lie. Let's welcome our Sabbath bride tonight. Let's look towards the door because that's where she's going to come in. So I want us to use our imaginations. What does her bridal dress look like? Who wants to tell me what that beautiful, beautiful dress looks like? Who wants to tell me? Any takers? Grown-ups. What does this beautiful bridal dress look like? I'm doing a wedding tomorrow night. I'm imagining what her dress is going to be. I think there's going to be some sequins. What is it, Vicky?
I think it's going to be beautifully white with ruffles.
Ruffles. Always a good choice. Who knows? What will the bridal dress look like? What? Taffeta. No.
A little bit of lace and sparkle, and it's going to be just
Vivian West. Well, that's very specific. So it looks like we're looking through the pages of some bridal magazines here. So that's very specific. Good. Beaded, sequins, ruffles, lace.
A veil.
And quite a veil. Beautiful. Love it. So let's remove that veil, right? Let's remove the barriers between earth and the heavens, between ourselves and God, and between the rest of the week and Shabbat. Lecha Dodi, page 138.
Lecha Dodi likra kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likra kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad yishmi'anu אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקרא קהלה בני שבת לקבלה. לך דודי לקרא קהלה בני שבת לקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה כי היא מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקרא קהלה בני שבת לקבלה. לך דודי לקרא קהלה בני שבת לקבלה. Verse 5. התעוררי התעוררי כי באורך קומי אורי 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 שידברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקרא קהלה בני שבת לקבלה. לך דודי לקרא קהלה בני שבת לקבלה. Please rise, face the door. We're on verse 9. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצוהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה בואי חלה. לך דודי לקרא קהלה בני שבת לקבלה. לך דודי לקרא קהלה בני שבת לקבלה. ילאי ללי הרי ילאי לרי רי 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 ילאי לרי ילאי לרי רי 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 רי.
Please be seated. Lisa Sage is going to share more about what tonight is all about. And we want to thank Lisa for her dedication and devotion, not only to making tonight one of education and illumination, but also for her steadfast work as a trustee all year in this area. So thank you, Lisa.
Thank you. Is it on? Hello? Yeah.
It's live.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here. So, Equality Shabbat is celebrated at Kol Tikva to celebrate both Transgender Awareness Week, which takes place November 13th to 19th every year, and Transgender Day of Remembrance that is on November 20th of every year. Many people have asked me, what is the difference between Equality Shabbat and Pride Shabbat? So my answer is, Pride Shabbat happens in June for Pride Month, and that celebrates the whole LGBTQ plus community. And November is for Equality Shabbat, mainly for transgender awareness. But it also celebrates people that are part of the LGBT and Q portions, as well as other diverse populations. And this is what I got from Rabbi John a few years ago when I asked him what the difference was. And he said pretty much it covers everyone, Equality Shabbat. So other diverse populations, which can be people with disabilities, women, Jews of color, etc. I am a woman, I have a disability, and I am part of the LGBTQ plus community. The title of my talk today is Justice and Equality for All. One thing I like about being part of Kol Tikva is that we are a very welcoming community, and I believe we are inclusive of all people. I also like the fact that we can be very flexible with changes, including changing dates for Shabbat services as they were originally planned. Just to make a story short, Equality Shabbat was rescheduled for tonight. Social justice is part of my speech tonight, and that goes hand in hand with diversity and inclusion. I am hoping that by the end of the service tonight, you will all have learned something, been inspired to make changes, including voting for equal rights, etc., and speaking up for things that you don't agree with and want to change. I am going to do my speech in different sections tonight, as that was suggested to me by Rabbi Deborah as a possibility, and I decided that I liked her idea, and many of her ideas I really like. Where are you, Rabbi? Oh, okay. I wanted to see you and smile at you. First of all, if you agree with what I'm about to say, please either raise your hands or say yay. How many of you are for women's rights? Yay. How many of you are for LGBTQ plus rights? Yay. How many of you are for disability rights? Yay. How many of you are for human rights? Yay. Everybody agreed, I hope. Thank you.
We can all say yay, or we can all say amen or amen to that. And so now that we've welcomed the twilight, we've welcomed the theme, let's welcome Shabbat very formally with our candle lighting. And this is also a special Shabbat because tomorrow Morgan will become a bat mitzvah. And so we're going to invite her family, Stacy, Chris, Morgan, and Hannah, to join us. And anyone else who's part of Morgan's family, please flood the bima with your smiling faces and presence so that we can light these candles and make it all happen. If you want to follow along on the Siddur, it's on page 128.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner v'tzivanu lehadlik ner v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We continue our service on page 146 with the call to worship the Baruch Hu. If you are able, please rise.
Light, 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 light. Baruchu et Adonai Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai Hamevorach. Hamevorach leolam va'ed. Hamevorach, Hamevorach leolam va'ed.
The Shema is on page 152. You can stay standing for one moment. And I'm noticing tonight, as I'm thinking about differently abled people, that not all of us are able to hear in the same way as everybody else. And the first word of the Shema is listen or hear. And we're talking specifically about hearing and calling to one another so that we can understand that God is one. So as we offer this prayer tonight, I want you to consider, how do we hear God with our ears? How do we hear God with our hearts, even if we can't hear with our ears? And how are the other ways we can listen and hear God, even if we are differently abled? Even if we are not deaf or hard of hearing, there are certainly limitations that we have in our capacities to listen and to hear. I know that because I'm a wife and a mother, and I'm told all of the time that I'm not listening or hearing. So let's focus in on what that actually means as we join together in the Shema on page 152.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
You may be seated, and I invite Morgan up to the bima to lead us in Ve'ahavta on the top of page 154.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך. ושינתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך, בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיהם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Kol hakavod to Morgan, who brings us so much honor by honoring our tradition and bringing great integrity and leading us in prayers. As we enter the Song of Mi Chamocha, page 158, we think exactly about what Lisa was talking about. What does it mean to have actual liberation? What does it mean to be free? What does it mean to be free of labels? What does it mean to be truly equal, not just in the eyes of God, but in the eyes of one another? And we celebrate this through this song of redemption, which we understand was part of the poetry that the women wrote, which was compiled and put into the Torah. And the poetry of the women included in the Torah are some of the most ancient pieces of writing that exist within the 5 books of Moses as a whole. So let's sing and let's dance and let's give thanks. Let's know that we are not truly free until all people are free. And we can be part of making that happen. Page 158, Mi Chamocha.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלינו ואמרו, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. יאי ראי ראי, יאי ראי 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 ראי, יאי ראי ראי, יאי ראי ראי, יאי ראי ראי, יאי ראי 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 ראי, יאי ראי ראי ראי. Yai, rai, 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 rai.
Lisa will share more now about our Equality Shabbat.
According to the ACLU, American Civil Liberties Union, over 100 bills attacking transgender people have been introduced in state legislatures since 2020. Currently, 20 states and Washington, D.C. allow people to update gender markers on IDs without submitting medical documentation. According to a statement put out by the reform movement of the URJ, Union for Reform Judaism, on May 18, 2023, the following is only a portion of their statement. So far this year, state legislatures have passed more than 50 anti-LGBTQ+ bills. Among the over 500 anti-LGBTQ+ bills that have been introduced, making 2023 the worst year on record for anti-LGBTQ plus legislation. Many of these bills specifically target young people by prohibiting gender-affirming medical care, restricting transgender participation in school athletics, censoring curricula that affirm LGBTQ plus people, and more. Just last month, the House of Representatives passed the first ever federal anti-transgender sports ban, which we fear is just the beginning of a series of anti-transgender legislation expected to pass the chamber. Many of our organizations joined 90 Jewish groups in opposing this bill, and the reform movement has also urged the Biden administration to strengthen protections for transgender student athletes. Before I continue, I would just like to make a side note that while preparing for tonight's speech, I found a lot of things on the internet. I'm sure a lot of you have used the internet several times as well. One of these that I found that I never heard of was the Human Rights Campaign organization. They have a national dinner annually, and at this year's annual dinner on October 15th, they were fighting for LGBTQ plus equality. The Human Rights Campaign, the nation's largest LGBTQ plus civil rights organization, brought together more than 2,500 LGBTQ plus advocates and activists from across the country for its annual national dinner. As their keynote speakers, they had President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden. I would like to invite Herb Zweig to come up and assist me with the reading. First, I would like to introduce a little bit about the Human Rights Campaign. On October 15th of this year, they got together. They're the nation's largest LGBTQ plus civil rights organization, and they had over 2,500 people in attendance. Go ahead, Herb. Thank you.
I want all LGBTQ Americans to know the Biden-Harris administration has your back, said President Joe Biden. I'm never going to stand by and watch families terrorized, doctors and nurses criminalized, or any child targeted for who they are. It's who they are. And our entire administration will always stand with you against hate. Together, we'll make even more progress. Across the country, in places like Texas and Florida and Alabama, LGBTQ plus individuals don't have the freedom to be honest with their family or embrace their gender identity at work. They don't have the freedom to walk down the halls of their school as their authentic self, said First Lady Jill Biden. While we celebrate this beautiful community tonight, let us remember how lucky we are and harden our resolve to advocate for those who are not. We look forward to a time when all people in all places can feel the freedom and joy that we feel here tonight. But until then, we will fight.
Thank you, Herb.
And one of the Jewish ways to advocate or to fight is also to pray. And I was reading today that Judaism, in many ways, is a religion of not yet, because one of the very basic principles that we hold is that the Messiah has not come yet, and that each and every one of us needs to be part of making this peaceful vision, this true place on earth that parallels that which is in the heavens, where all are equal, all are safe, all are our authentic selves. And each one of us plays a critical role in making that happen. And so as we imagine this place, this messianic time that we hope to bring soon, we use Shabbat as a slice of it, as a sweet, delicious, peaceful, calm, joyful moment that gives us a taste of what that era can be. In this next prayer, Vishamru, we memorialize that when we celebrate Shabbat, we bring peace down, we celebrate the union, the special relationship between God and the people of Israel, and between the people of Israel and Shabbat, that special covenant or brit. Join us on 162, Vishamru.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש ליי 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 Lai 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 Vishameru bnei Israel et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Boy, are we in need of healing this week. We have a lot of healing to do. We have to heal ourselves. We have to support other people who are in need of healing. And we just need to hold it all together, even when it feels like we absolutely can't. So in our next prayer, we're going to call upon not only God, but each other, all of the caretakers, all of the people who love us, and all of the strangers that our prayers can help impact by praying for them and with them. I'm going to name some names now, and then we're going to start the Misha Beirach prayer. And then when my hand meets your eyes, please share any names of people you wish to add their name to our healing list. Of course, we are thinking of our Rabbi John Hanish and wishing him a most speedy recovery from all that he is going through. We also think of Sharon Friedman, Erwin Ames, Lisa Sage, Jerry Lauderstein, Joan and David Weitzner, Michael Rader, Diana Carew, Joyce Stern, Bonnie Halpern, Fred Strauss, Kindra Reams, Sarah Alone, Max Selzinski, Marit Lee, Jack Cunningham, Catherine R. Saliby, Laura Gleason, James Gleason, and Kate Gleason. We are certainly thinking of those in Israel. We are thinking of those affected by acts of anti-Semitism and all types of bigotry and hatred. We are thinking of those who are healing from gun violence. We are thinking of those affected by terrorist attacks and regional conflicts and those who have been wounded in border skirmishes. And we are also praying for all of the people who take care of those who are ill. Misha Berach is on page 371.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor Habracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen.
Linda Sage, Lori Phillips, Shoshi.
Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor Habracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
If you are able, please rise and join us in the standing prayer, the Amidah, on page 164.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufia giteilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise.
Page 166.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'Koneh Hakol, Ve'Zocher Chasdei Avot ve'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'nehem, Leman Shemo ve'Ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Maken, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah. Ata Gibor leolam Adonai, Mechaye hakol ata, רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please continue silently with the Amidah until page 180, and you can signal to us that you have finished your prayers by being seated.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
So before my final portion of my talk, I just wanted to throw this out to you guys because I am the chairperson for my Diversity and Inclusion Committee. So, as you all see in your little program here, the QR code. Just a reminder for all you members, do please fill out our survey if you haven't done so yet. We worked very hard on our survey, several months, and I'm not sure how many have come in yet, but just you can do the QR code, or if you got the letter and the email, which hopefully you all got it. I think it came out Monday morning. Please fill that out for us. It tells us what we're doing right here at Kol Tikva, and it also tells us what we may not be doing right that we can improve on. And we want to hear both good and bad comments from all of you and have all of your opinions. We value everyone's opinions, beliefs, and experiences here at Kol Tikva. Even if you're just coming tonight for a bat mitzvah, we want to hear what you think about us. So thank you all for being here. And when I originally signed up to be board host for tonight, I didn't know I was going to be the speaker also. So it just happened. But anyways, so for my final portion of my speech, here we go. The following I am about to share with you came from a RAV, R-A-V, not R-A-B, blog, which I believe is a blog that rabbis use. But we will have to ask Rabbi Deborah after service. The story happened in the year 2021. The title is A Jewish Approach to Transgender Awareness Week. Rabbinical student Ariel Tavlev on the ways Jewish communities can be more inclusive of the transgender community. Remember, the following story is told by this rabbinical student, Ariel Tavlev. After services one Friday night, I was approached by a woman and child I had not seen before. The woman knew I was a rabbinical student and said she had an important question to ask me. Then, slowly, trying to find the right words, she said, let's say there was someone who was born female but realized they were male, a female to male transgender person. Would that person be able to have a bar mitzvah? Is that something Judaism would allow? What providence that I, of all people, would be asked this question? I heard myself blurt out, you don't know? I'm trans. Shocked, the woman took a second to process my words. Then she grinned and grabbed her son's shoulders with excitement. Look, she exclaimed to him, the rabbi is just like you. When joining a new community, I often hear that they've never had a trans employee or even a trans member. I always respond, that you know of. Sometimes I am in a position where I'm out and open about being trans, where I'm visible as a trans person, where everyone is aware that they're talking to someone who is trans. Other times I'm just another person in the room and people may not know I'm trans. Even though I was, quote, out to this community, the news had not spread to everyone. While I had talked about acceptance and inclusion of trans people previously, I hadn't mentioned it in that Shabbat service. The synagogue didn't have any flags or stickers that indicated trans inclusion. Therefore, this woman had no way of knowing that the community was inclusive. Similarly, none of the other community members had any way of knowing that the little boy starting religious school was transgender. As members of a community, we make certain vows to support and care for one another. But how can we care for our community if we're not aware of who is in it? And that's another reason we're doing our survey. But how can we care for our community if we don't know who's in it? Many people think that trans inclusion is not relevant to their community. Yet in reality, there are trans people everywhere, in the smallest of communities, in the most remote of locations. There are trans people who are already members of our communities who may feel uncomfortable or unsafe celebrating that aspect of themselves in a Jewish setting. And there are trans people who wish to join our communities but may be afraid that they will not be welcomed or embraced for who they are. In conclusion, these are my words now, not his. We need to be accepting and inclusive of everyone. Value their uniqueness. Do not see the person as a person who is in the LGBTQ+ community. in the disability community, is a woman, is a man, is a Jew of color, is a person who may not be Jewish, but still wants to be part of our community, etc. We all want to be respected, celebrated, and valued for who we are as people. May we all have equal rights. May we continue to have justice and work on having equality for all. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Lisa. And let's all say to that, Amen. May your words reach God's lips, and may it also reach all of our hearts, that we may make this vision come to be. And as board host, Lisa, I now get to invite you to share some announcements and a gift with for our bat mitzvah student.
Morgan, can you please come up? Give me a second. There's 2 pages here. Okay. So, Morgan, congratulations. Thank you, Rabbi Schuldenfrei, cantorial soloist Joel Stein, for leading us through the beautiful service. Thank you to our ONEG sponsors, the Dishlip family, in honor of Morgan's bat mitzvah, and Herb Zweig, in honor of Fanny and Nathan Zweig, and also for helping me with the reading. Thank you, Herb. So a few upcoming events. Mitzvah Day is this Sunday. We're starting the day at 10:30 in the morning with Rabbi Schuldenfrei guiding a conversation about how to educate when it's hard to speak up, for parents and grandparents to face their own questions, and for us to share together how best to approach our kids or grandkids and listen to them. The projects will begin at 11:30 a.m. Please join us for our Israel gathering on Zoom Thursday, November 9th at 7 o'clock for tools for peacemaking within ourselves, anger, fear, and empathy in the Israel-Hamas war. We will be joined by Jonathan Freund, who will address the challenge that many are facing supporting Israel and Jews and their war on terrorism, while also being concerned about the innocent that are being affected. Joel Stein's cancellation, oopsie, sorry, I guess I'm tired of talking. Sorry, Joel, not cancellation. We're not canceling you ever, Joel. Don't leave us, please. The installation, that's correct, of cantorial soloist Joel Stein is coming up on Friday, November 17th. That's going to be very special, and we love Joel. We look forward to a song and have everyone join us for that. And the other things are 2024, and I'm tired of talking, but you guys all have it in your emails or the Shalom sheet. So thank you, and have a good evening. Shabbat Shalom.
And what a big special thank you to Lisa Sage for all of her wisdom, for sharing so personally and deeply about her own experiences, and for educating us and shedding light on so much that helps us really be guided by our Jewish principles. Thank you so much, Lisa, for bringing yourself tonight and for sharing with us. Thank you. Kol hakavod. Our thoughts turn now to those we've lost in recent days, and those we've lost at this season in years past. And I think just a brief note that I've hinted at a little bit, but we need to remain in these difficult times with Israel as that religion of hope, that religion of not yet, that religion of believing that we are all agents of hope in a world that is serially threatened by despair. Those are the words of Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, and that Judaism is the religion of hope and Israel is the home of hope. And so our hearts are shattered when we lose people, civilians, when we lose soldiers in the Israel Defense Forces, and the loss of Palestinian life needs to be acknowledged here as well, while we defend our right to be a state and a homeland and our right for self-determination, the great responsibility and power that comes with being a Jewish state. So we remember recently departed Jeff Borowitz, who's remembered by the Borowitz and Rapport families, Howard Weil, who's remembered by Laura Weil Gleason, and James, Kate, and Brian Gleason, and Jay Shulman, who's remembered by the Shulman family. We think of people who we've lost at this season in years past, including Ida Ackerman, Lawrence Aronoff, Joan Bornholt, Alice Braveman, Ira Conrad, Ida Davis, Gerald Demain, Morris Dunner, Blanche Fischler-Drucker, Donna Frankel, Irving Greenberg, Gary Heller, Laurie Holtz, Miriam Mitzi Lieboff, Margot Lipschitz, Morris Milmet, Theodore R. Morris, Florence Shear, Larry Seawack, Mark Silver, Evelyn Stark, Leon Steinman, William Wiss, Dorothy Wiss, Rita Wohl, Fanny Zweig, and Nathan Zweig. We are holding in our prayers those who were taken by gun violence, those who have passed due to floods, fires, natural and unnatural disasters, and those who have died in the LGBT community, LGBTQ plus community, who have no one to say Kaddish for them, as well as those who have died in the community who were specifically targeted for who they are and what they stand for. We remember those Palestinians, civilians who are trapped, and those who were brutally massacred in Israel. The Martyrs' Kaddish is on page 598. As a sign of solidarity, if you are able, please rise. Let me take names if there's any names that I either mispronounced or that you'd like to add at this time. Yitzgadal v'yitzkadash shemei rabbah, ve'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehe shmei rabbah mevarach le'alam ula'almei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemei dekudesha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Ose shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, Ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru amen. May God, who makes peace in the high heavens, bring peace down to us, to all of Israel, to all of the world, to all people everywhere. And let us say together, amen. And now we will sing together a prayer for peace as we hope and pray for peace. Od yavo shalom aleinu. You can gather people close if that's comfortable, or you can even close the aisles so that we're one circle of people here to celebrate the Sabbath, to celebrate each other, to celebrate equality, to celebrate authenticity.
עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם. עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם. סלם עלינו ועל כל העולם. סלם שלום. סלם עלינו ועל כל העולם. סלם שלום. עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם. עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם.
I have been blessed to work in many different synagogue and Jewish organizational communities, and I have to tell you how touched I am, even in the short time I've been here, to see how inclusive this community really is. And I think in big part that's because of the board members that we have who show up and who walk the walk. They don't just talk the talk, and our professionals as well. So I'd like to invite our board members, their partners, significant others, spouses, and our professional staff who's here tonight to lead us in the blessing over the wine and over the motzi. I think that when we break bread together, which we do often at Kol Tikva, we not only look into each other's eyes, but the opportunity to be satiated together, to eat together, it matters. It really matters because we're not just opening our hearts, we're opening our stomachs. So let it continue to be so. And we will offer first the blessing over the wine, the Kiddush, making holy this moment in time. So I'll have the Cocos in their matching outfits lead us.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen l'chaim.
To life, to sweetness, to peace, to always having an overflowing cup, that we may have more sweetness and joy than we have sorrow and suffering. And may our plates always be full and our bellies always be full, and may there always be enough challah to share with everyone, as I know that there is, the motzi.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom.